Good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. I am Dr. Trinise McNeely, CEO of Dr. Trinise L. McNeely LLC. And as we get ready to enjoy Mother's Day on tomorrow, we will continue our annual Mother's Day conversation. Our keynote speaker for today is Keelay Carter. Keelay Carter is the founder of the Keelay Carter Experience, a community and platform that connects, encourages, motivates, inspires, and uplifts women to live with their purpose every single day, no matter what. Keelay is a woman of faith, mother of two, wife, digital content creator, social media influencer, motivational speaker, and certified life coach who pushes women into their purposeful assignment. Keelay prides herself on sharing her life transparency through her social media inspirational posts, her day-to-day life lessons, and her podcast that shares the joyful moments, the obstacles, the laughter, and the love through living out God's purpose for her. She curates events that allow women to gather and connect in a space where they feel seen, heard, and connected with other women of purpose. The goal is to always to create a safe space for women from different lifestyles, backgrounds, and seasons in their lives to share their experiences and journeys, to build one another up, support one another, and to inspire them to keep pushing. To inspire them to keep pursuing their personal dreams and purpose no matter what. Yes. So please give a virtual hand clap to our guest on today, Keelay Carter, as we start this Mother's Day conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. Thank you for joining us on this morning. So I'm going to go right into our questions on today. So the first question is, how has being a working mom impacted you mentally, physically, and spiritually? What strategies have helped you to maintain a successful work-life balance? Tell us your story about mom life.
Okay, so being a working mom, we all know that it is exhausting. It can become overwhelming. Just keeping up with the schedule. I know a lot of us during the pandemic was working at home, and we had the kids at home, and it was like work and home are in the same place. And so that's still the reality for me as I still work remotely from home. So work and home are in the same place. That can become difficult. At first, it was, a benefit because it allowed me the time to not have to commute. It allows me the time to kind of, prep my dinner during, my downtime throughout the day. So when the boys come home, my boys are 9 and 5. So when they come home, they are starving and they act like they can't wait. So it's allowed me the time to kind of balance that a little bit better because I'm no longer having that commute. But either way, working and balancing the household can become exhausting. It can become overwhelming. And so for me, how I balance it, I honestly just do what I can. I've learned to give myself grace. I've learned to, not put so much pressure on myself because I am only one person. So while I can do all things through Christ, I can't do all the things within my own strength. And so I have to prioritize those things. So I make sure that I pray in the morning, like, Lord, you take over my schedule. You take over my priorities. You let me know, what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And that's just something new I just started implementing with my devotional time because I found myself, at nighttime, it's like I'm exhausted. I have nothing left. And I don't ever want to pour from an empty cup where I'm so exhausted that now I'm yelling at the kids. I'm so exhausted that now I'm not, having time to spend with my husband, that quality time. I can't do that. And so it's like, yes, work will be work and it will be there and you will get it completed, but family will always be family. And so I prioritize my family first and work will be there.
Yes, I am the exact same way. I have two boys, a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Yes.
And I also have my stepdaughter as well. And I know what you mean when they come home from school, They act
Yeah.
like they didn't eat nothing all day. They starving. So I know exactly what you mean. And then by the end of the night, I am exhausted as well. So priority is key. We have to learn to prioritize our time and make sure that we have self-care for us as well, because we can't do it all. I know we think we can, but we cannot do it all. We just have to make prioritize our time and make sure that we touch the key things that matter. And family is always first. So
Definitely.
that's good. So my next question is, as the founder of the Keelay Carter Experience, can you share more about your organization?
Yes. So the Keelay Carter experience was birthed out of the pandemic. I had started with a podcast. It was called Momish Podcast. So Momish Podcast was an outlet for me to really just like vent about the things that I was experiencing. I was pregnant with my second child. And it was a rough journey for me, as much as people think that motherhood is like this joyful experience. While it is, there are times where it's like, I wasn't prepared for this. We weren't planning for the second to come as quickly as it did. And I was really struggling with, just that reality. And so I started a podcast because I was like, I feel like my husband is getting tired of talking about the same things over and over again. And so who else could understand me better than another mom? And so I started Momish Podcast to bring moms to a table to kind of share their backgrounds and their experiences and, just really have that transparent and vulnerability to share with another mom, because I feel like we all feel like we have a unique situation that is only us going through it. And so we began to share our stories, blended families, moms with children with special needs. We had moms that came on that weren't moms yet, but wanted to be moms. And we just had these conversations at a dining room table with glasses of wine, and just sharing, the power of motherhood, and building a sisterhood through motherhood. The podcast, it launched into curated events. So we had stuff like the Momish Day Camp. We had Mom's Night Out, where it just allowed moms to have that time, that self-care you talked about, where hey, let me get together with some other moms and just enjoy life and have the time to not have to have my mom hat on at all times, and just relax and have a good time. And so those curated events just were amazing. But then the pandemic hit us, and it caused a pivot for many of us in our businesses. And so for me, it gave me time to kind of think and pray and be still, and not having the events and not having, the connections in real life. It was a lot of time with me. And so I began to like kind of just realize that I'm more than a mom. I was Keelay as a woman first. I'm a wife. I am a mom. I'm an employee. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm an aspiring entrepreneur. And so all of the things came together where it was just like, this is me. This is the identity. And so I kind of played with the names. And then, the Lord just told me, like, the Keelay Carter experience, it is you. So your brand is you. That is the identity. That's who I've called you to be. And so the Keelay Carter experience is just that, a community and platform that connects, uplifts, motivates, inspires, and encourages women to fulfill their purpose every single day, no matter what, no matter about these kids, these husbands, these jobs. Just make sure that you are pouring into yourself to do what you are called to do, because someone else is waiting for you to show up so that they can show up. So that's where it came from.
That is a great experience, because we all need that group of women who we can get together with. So yes, so what you're doing is amazing, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So my next question, what has been the hardest period of motherhood for you, and how did you deal with it?
I would say the hardest period of motherhood for me was definitely during the pandemic. I feel like there was so much going on. There were so many transitions, not only for myself and the world, but also for my children. And I think a lot of us realized later on in the pandemic the effect that it was having on our kids. They didn't have that social aspect and virtual learning, and, not even understanding how to explain to them what the pandemic actually was. And so that was a tough time for me in motherhood. I always feel like those tough conversations can become a little fearful. And during the pandemic, we also had, you know, the racial injustice that went on, and just raising two Black boys, just explaining to them, or having to explain to them what it was that they were seeing on the news, what it was that they were hearing on the TV. And so those conversations became like very, I feel like with my 9-year-old, I feel like I'm being rushed to have conversations that I'm not necessarily prepared for. And so for me, that is a tough part of motherhood. I just feel like at 9, I don't remember my mom having to have those conversations so early. But it's like, if we don't have them within our homes, they're going to get it from society. They're going to get it from schoolmates. They're going to get it from, you know, wherever they're going to get it from. And so we're having to talk about things that I wasn't expecting to talk about until they were like teenagers. And so it's becoming rough. It's becoming tough because I don't want them to be shaped and formed by the outside world. So that has been tough for me.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean, because I know my husband, he started having some conversations with our boys, and I'm like, no, they're not ready yet. Just wait till they get old. I want them to be innocent at this time. But with my 11-year-old, he's seeing things and asking questions. And I know one time before, we was watching a documentary on Martin Luther King and the assassination, and then he was like, I'm going to tell my teacher why you killed Martin Luther King, why you hate Black people. And I was like, nope, nope, nope. So we definitely had to have that conversation to
Yeah.
let them know, no, that's not your teacher. All people are not like that. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes.
We don't want to have those conversations, but
We have
really
to.
do. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. So my next question, speaking on the hardest part of motherhood, what has given you the most joy as a mom? What has made you want to scream?
I think just watching them grow. It's like I created these humans and they are a reflection of me. And so just day to day, I'm literally watching their personalities grow. I'm watching how different they are. I'm watching how they learn. I'm watching how they watch me, which brings me joy. And so me pursuing my dreams is not new to them. It's not, I never heard of entrepreneurship growing up. And so for my boys to have that aspect and that vision of, you know, mommy's doing this, like, you know, my oldest is like, you have a website, you have merch, and he thinks it's so cool. And so that gives me so much joy, because as much as I am proud of them, to see that they're proud of me just gives me all the joy in the world, and it pushes me to keep going.
Yes. And then what has made you want to scream?
Ooh, cleaning the house every day, just to clean the house every day. I want to scream. I'm like, I just cleaned the house. And now the next day, I'm like, I just cleaned this. And so I'm re-cleaning. So that makes me scream every single day. Honestly, that is the consistent scream in my household, because living with boys, being the only female in the house, it's just stuff is everywhere. And I want to scream every single day.
Yeah, yes, it is. I'm always like, go clean up, pick this up, pick this up. I'm like, we're not leaving this house until this place is clean.
Yeah.
So yes, I know exactly what you mean. So what are you most proud of in your motherhood journey?
I am proud of doing it my way. Um, because I think society puts so many rules and regulations, or they put so many expectations on what a mom should be, what a mom should do, what a mom should look like, what a mom should say. And so, especially with social media in this generation in society, social media has all these, you know, mom expectations and mom judgments. And even with the mom groups, they're amazing, but sometimes everyone thinks it's a one size fits all. And so it's like, no, we're all not raising the same children. We're all not coming from the same backgrounds. And so I think motherhood is probably my most confident area of life, because I'm so confident in who I am as a mom. I'm so confident in how I'm raising my children that I'm proud to do it my own way. So,
Yes, that is great. That's great. So what do you have planned on tomorrow for Mother's Day?
you know what? My oldest has a football game on Mother's Day. So
Life
um,
as a mom. Yeah,
life
because
is
my
mom.
son has a soccer game today.
I'm like, we have baseball, and today, and then tomorrow we have football. And so it's, no days off, but I'm gonna go to church in the morning with my family, and then we'll try to grab maybe a bite to eat or something, and then football and whatever else my husband has planned. But yeah, it's
That's how it is because I know for my birthday I spent it on the soccer field in the hot sun with an umbrella sweating. So
yeah.
sometimes we can't have our time. It's about the kids when they're doing their sports because we try to rotate the boys out. We try not to have them all doing sports at the same time because I'm like I cannot be
It's
everywhere
too
at one
much.
time. So yeah, so my oldest now he's doing soccer. My youngest just finished basketball, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in trying to find that balance between work and family life, what boundaries have you set for work?
With me being at home, it seems like the office kind of expects you to be more available than when you
Mhm.
were present in the office in person. Um,
Yep.
so for me, I set those boundaries where, my lunch break is my lunch break. So I set that time at 5 o'clock. I close my laptop because now my boys get home at 4. So they come in, they have a snack. Once I'm off, and that's it. So I'm not accepting any phone calls after hours or anything like that. I also take my leave, use that PTO, prepare the others, as I like to say, because
Yep.
it's like I refuse to, have my boys grow up and say that I missed important things and milestones in their lives. So if it's an awards assembly, if it's something at the school that, the parents need to be involved in, I just chaperone my kindergarten son's field trip to the zoo. I make sure that I, put that time in and know that they are my first priority.
Yep, exactly. Because I know for me, I'm remotely as well, but I'm now a consultant at my organization. I worked there for 12 years. And I just, back in October, I have resigned from my director's position. So I could focus more on what I'm trying to do in my family.
Yes.
And now I'm a consultant. So they pretty much expect the same thing as well, calling, emailing, and all of that stuff. But I set my time, and I will contact you all in this time frame. If you're calling me after hours or anything like that, those are the boundaries I've set when I was employed there, not
Yes.
even as a consultant. So everyone already knew after this certain amount of time, Dr. McNeely is not going to answer until the next morning. So
Yes.
they knew that. And those are boundaries you have to set, especially when you have family and kids.
Yes.
Just on Thursday, my son had his award ceremony and a band concert. And I had to shut down work and head to that. And everyone was calling me, texting me, but sorry, family comes first, and that's how it should be. So you have to set those boundaries, especially
Yes.
when it comes to your family.
Definitely.
Yes, yes, yes. So, what is your best advice to moms with young children?
um, my best advice would be, I know everyone told me this when they were younger, the time goes fast. And so to cherish every moment. And so for me, I was like, I'm ready for them to grow up and be independent. And, it'll give me time. But now it's like I'm watching them and, they have their own activities, they have their own things going on. I know that the time is going super fast. And so I would say cherish the moments, make the memories, and give yourself grace. I feel like when they were younger was when I was like a nervous wreck. I was always, are they okay? Are they breathing? I gotta stay up. I gotta do this. And you feel like you have to do all of the things, but give yourself grace and lean on your village, especially when they're young. Take that time to, have a date night, have a girls' night out, have a solo date if you want to, but lean on your village. Find the people that you trust that can give you a break every once in a while so you're not drained and exhausted and frustrated and all of the things, especially with young ones. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
great advice because moms, we really need to have our break. I am a key on self care. We got to have that self care so we don't get burned out and start screaming and yelling. That's what my
Yeah.
husband says. He said he knows when I'm getting to that point. So I'm like, nope, I got to relax, take some time out for me. So, yes, great
Yeah.
advice. So, my closing question, what do you have upcoming? How can everyone connect with you?
So upcoming, I just finished an event which was an intimate event for pre-Mother's Day, which was Candles and Conversation, where just some moms got together and we kind of just had that time to get together and have conversations and connect with one another. There will be future events coming up later on in 2023. You can definitely stay connected with me from social media, Instagram at Keelay, KEELAY_Carter, CARTER. My website is www.keelaycarter.com. So everything will be announced through there, my newsletters, all of the things. But I'm excited for what's to come in 2023. I'm looking forward to connecting with more amazing women, more amazing moms, because we just have a good time when we get together.
Great, great, great. So thank you so much again, Keelay, for joining me on this morning for this Mother's Day conversation. For all the new viewers out there, you can connect with me as well on social media. All the platforms at dr.trinisemcnilly are on my website, drtrinisemcnilly.com. And again, thank you for tuning in for this Mother's Day conversation. And I hope everyone have an enjoyable weekend. Again, happy Mother's Day. Bye-bye.